This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Now we'll discuss basics of Winrunner. So first of all, before going to the Winrunner basics, we will discuss the need for the automation. There are totally 6 reasons why we are going for automation. First one is speed. So running the scripts is very fast when compared to human users. So that is the first reason. Second one is reliable. That means error free. So using tools are using tools we will get very less errors when compared to the humans. Third one is repeatability. So we can repeat any number of times using the test case, whereas we can do it using humans, but humans feel tiresome. So that is another difference. And fourth one is programmable. So we can program sophisticated tests that bring out hidden information. Next one is comprehensive. We can build a suite of tests that cover every feature in our application. That means complete testing we can do using comprehensive testing. Last one reusable. Reusable means we can reuse tests on different versions of an application. You can reuse the test on several versions using ఆన్ చేశారేంది మాట ఆన్ చేయి రికార్డ్
This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, students. We'll discuss Winrunner basics. First, we discuss the need for the automation. So the speed. So automation scripts runs very fast when compared to the human units. Second one is reliability. That means the tests perform precisely the same operation each time they are run without any errors, than by eliminating human errors. So repeatability. So we can test for the how the application reacts after repeated same operation. And fourth one is program. So we can program sophisticated tests that bring out hidden information. Sixth one is comprehensive. That means we can build a suite of tests that covers every feature in our application. And sixth one is reusability. We can reuse tests on different versions of an application, even if the user interface changes. There is a need for automation. Next one is what is Winrunner? So Winrunner is Mercury's legacy automated testing tool. So what is meant by legacy? Legacy means it's not freely available. And it is functionality is similar to QTP. So it is also a testing tool. And Winrunner integrates with other Mercury test solutions, including Test Director or Quality Center or QTP or Load Run. So we can integrate the Winrunner with these tools, and we can utilize an add-in architecture for compactness and extensibility. We can add for C++. Suppose if the add-in for C++ is present, then we can test the applications. We can test the applications created using C++, and similarly we can test the applications using Visual Basic. So similarly we can test the application using Java, but Java is licensed, whereas Visual Basic is built-in feature. And similarly Power Builder. So Winrunner is also used to test any Windows application created using Power Builder programming language. So as well as it is also used to test any type of HTML-based applications interact using web test. And it also has support for ERP packages, but these are licensed. So ERP packages like Oracle and PeopleSoft, SAP, Sales, etc. Next is testing process. So the testing process of the testing process of Winrunner consists of creating the UI map, creating the test, debug the test, and run the test. So for creating the test, so what is happens is in this step, by creating a GUI map file, the Winrunner can identify the GUI objects in the application which we are going to test. And second one is creating the test scripts. So this process involves recording, programming, or both. So in the process of recording the test, insert checkpoints where response of the application needs to be tested. not only checkpoints, we can insert synchronization points, we can parameterize the test, and also we can include the TS code in the while creating the test. Next one is debug the test. So we'll run the test in the debug mode to make sure whether they run smoothly or not. And last one is run the test. We can run the test in the verify mode to test the application. So these are testing process of the Winrunner. Next, Winrunner object identification process. So it consists of UI configuration tool. So this tool determines what properties of objects are recorded. And GUI spy, it allows users to view the property of an object without recording it. And the third one is GUI map editor. So it holds the information recorded about each object, allowing the test to identify the object during execution. Next one is creating a GUI map file. So we can create a GUI map file in two ways. First one is per test basis. That is, a GUI map is created for each and every test. And second one is global. That is, a single GUI map is used for multiple tests. This is about the creating a GUI map file. And and graphically, if you see in the recording, what you'll do is object is stored in the GUI map first, and object is assigned a name. Then based on the object class and name, a statement is generated in the Winrunner script. And replay. So Winrunner searches the current window context in the GUI map, which is set underscore window, and then Winrunner searches the window for the object name, and physical description is used to locate the object. Like GUI, learn the GUI. So use the learn feature in the GUI map editor to store all the objects in a window all at once. Instead of recording individual objects piecemeal, as the record session is progressing, every uncaptured object within the another object can be recorded at one time and ready to be accessed. Next one is save the GUI map for reuse in future iterations of the automated test, and also to possibly to be used in different automated tests. Next, recording the test. So we can read the outline of the steps to perform and practice performing the steps to minimize the error, and choose the recording mode, whether it is context sensitive or analog. There are two types of recording mode. Either it is context sensitive or analog. In context sensitive mode, so this mode is records the operations you perform in terms of GUI objects in your application. So Winrunner identifies each object you click, such as window, menu list, or button, and the type of the operation you perform, such as press, enable, move, or select. For example, if you record a mouse click on the OK button in the flight reservation login window, Winrunner records the following TSS statements in your test. For example, button underscore press in brackets OK. When you run the script, Winrunner reads the command, looks for OK button, and presses it. In analog mode, Winrunner records the exact coordinates traveled by the mouse as well as mouse clicks and keyboard input. For example, if you click the OK button in the login window, Winrunner records the statements that looks like move underscore to sector underscore track of one, which means mouse track. And similarly, the record statement is M type in brackets T110 K left, which means left mouse button press. We can stop the recording, we can save the test, we can play back the test. So this is about the recording of the Winrunner. And we can switch the between the modes using the same record using F2. So plan your work. So decide exactly what actions are data to record, and check the initial conditions. So test case may have data dependency, test cases may have screen dependency, and establish a common initial state for testing. Walk through the test case manually. Verify that the test case is functional before recording the script. So test your test script. So verify that the script will replay reliably by executing several times. So watch the script execute and verify that it performs its intended function. So edit test. We can insert the synchronization points. It is used to slow down the execution of a test script. And checkpoints. So what is the need of checkpoints? So checkpoints allow you to compare the current behavior of the application being tested to its behavior in an earlier version. You can add four types of checkpoints to your test scripts. First one is object checkpoint, and text checkpoint, bitmap checkpoint, and bitmap checkpoint. So object checkpoint. So it verifies information about the GUI object. For example, you can check whether radio button is on or off. And also we can check whether a push button is enabled or disabled. So this comes under object checkpoint. Second one is text checkpoint. So record the text in GUI objects and in bitmaps and enables you to verify their content. For example, you can read the text content of any button. And bitmap checkpoint. So it takes a snapshot of a window or area of your application and compares this to an image captured in an earlier version. So it captures drawings and graphs. So it checks the contents and the number of rows and columns of a result set, which is based on the query you can create on your database. So you can create a query and examine the result set. Next, inside parameterization. So it allows you to store data in the database table. And the last one is include TSL code. So this is the last operation and also very important. So TSL stands for test script language. And run modes. So we have debug mode, verify mode, and update mode. In debug mode, it is good to see while the test script is being debugged. So these tests are overwritten with each new run. And in verify mode, it corresponds to the actual test results. So generally used when executing testing scenarios where results need to be stored. And the last one is update. So it corresponds to the expected results. The expected results are the benchmarks need to verify the test results. So test runs in update mode generate the expected results for future runs to compare back against. So these test results become the expected results for subsequent test runs in verify mode. Next one is synchronization point. So we can specify it is used. We can specify some time which is used as a wait function to pause the test for a specific amount of time. So until an event occurs, pauses until a specific property of an object has a specific value. So checkpoints we already discussed this. We already discussed this one. And parameterize data. So it allows you to test to read data from the database table. So the data table is an Excel spreadsheet file editable from using Excel or any other application that can edit a .xls document. The columns can be renamed by double checking on the header of the column. So TSL coding. So when the tools provided by Winrunner are not sufficient to test an application, then we go for TSL coding. So TSL is a proprietary language only used with Mercury tools. So TSL is a C-like language. So high-level proprietary programming language designed for test automation. Procedural language. Fully programming support variables, arrays, functions, regular expressions, control flow, decision logic, looping, etc. are available in the TSL. So TSL provides a comprehensive list of hundreds of built-in functions to simplify the test function. For window object function, environment function, reporting function, database query function, file or spreadsheet function, run Win32 function. So Winrunner provides a graphical function browser to assist you. For example, function generator. So syntax is same as the standard C and test verification. So enhancing a test to verify data on the screen. So check the object values and state. You can check the images. You can check the text. You can check the database. And context sensitive verification and nlog verification is also part of the test verification. So we have discussed about different checkpoints, different synchronization points, and parameterization configuration data, and also we covered the TSL add programming logic. So this covers the basics of the Winrunner. We will discuss further in the next class.
This conference will now be recorded.
So, hi, good morning, everybody. So today we will discuss about introducing the Winrunner. That means complete basic information about the Winrunner. So launching the Winrunner. So how can if your system does not have any Winrunner as an item in program, navigate to the program files, Mercury Interactive, Winrunner, Run.exe on your system. That is a shortcut to this executable. The Winrunner environment. After invoking Winrunner application, Winrunner provides support for items as menu, status bar. On launching Winrunner is the user to teach the testing environment handle objects created using different technologies. So Winrunner only capable of recognizing objects built upon standard Windows environment environment and the Microsoft Foundation classes library of objects. It can do implementation written using different technologies such as V or Java. Winrunner unexpectedly not know how to properly identify objects within your application within your application. So until the application add-in is set. So we have Winrunner add-ins architecture. So first one is Power Builder add-in. So it is a built-in availability with the Winrunner. It is used to test any Windows applications created using the Power Builder programming language. Second one is ActiveX controls add-in. So this is built-in available and it is used to test ActiveX components. Third one is Delphi add-in available with Winrunner. It is licensed and it is used to set applications written in Delphi. So Delphi is object-oriented version of Pascal. And ERP add-in. So it is also licensed and it is this add-in support ERP systems including Oracle applications, Barn, PeopleSoft, SAP, and Sable. And next one is Java add-in. So it is licensed. It is used to test applications and applets created using Sun Microsystems Java programming language. Next add-in is Visual Basic add-in. So it is built-in availability. So it is used to test applications created in VB. This does not include applications created with VB.NET. Next is a WAP add-in. So it is licensed and it is used to test applications that support wireless application protocol standards. Next one is web test. So this is built-in availability and it is used to test any type of HTML-based web application interact using web-based application. And welcome screen. So the welcome screen provides users with a few helpful choices on what to do with their current session. So the choices provided include creating a new test, open an existing test, and view a quick preview of Winrunner. And fourth one is exit. And Winrunner application. The Winrunner main application window is a typical Windows multiple document interface MDI application consisting of menus, toolbars, a status bar, and document windows. The table lists the menus available within the Winrunner as well as the functions provided by menu items within these menus. So first menu is file menu. So the functionality of this menu is it contains file management functions such as opening, saving, and printing the files. Also, it provides access to certain properties for the test and operating recent tests. Second one is the edit menu. So it provides editing functionality to a test such as undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, and etc. And view menu. Delete also available in the edit menu. New menu. In new menu, it allows you to toggle the toolbars and status bars and also customize the toolbar content. Next one is insert menu. Contains tool for inclusion of several forms of test artifacts, including checkpoints, synchronization points, and TSL functions. Test menu. So the test menu contains tools for controlling recording, playback, and choosing execution mode. Debug menu. It contains tools for debugging a test, including breakpoints, stepping tools, and adding data watches. Tools menu. So it allows you to configure options in Winrunner and also contains many tools for managing the for manage UI maps, connecting to quality center, launching the test result tool, creating recovery scenarios, etc. Table menu. So it contains tools for dealing with the Winrunner data table and parameterizing the test. Window menu. It provides the ability to manage the multiple test windows open in Winrunner. And finally, help menu. It contains the access to Winrunner help files, tutorials, and user guides. Also contains licensing information about your Winrunner installation as well as links to the Mercury website. So these are the list of Winrunner menus. Next is debug viewer. So the debug viewer is one of the tools provided by the Winrunner to aid in application debugging. It is a collection of 3 tools with each tool displayed in a separate table of the debug viewer. First one is watch list. It provides the ability to define expressions and inspect the value of these expressions. Variables are expressions and can therefore be added to the watch list. Second one is breakpoint list. So it shows a list of breakpoints within the test, including line-based and function-based breakpoints. Third one is call chain. It provides a stepwise list of calls made in a test, including any functions invoked in a call stack. Function viewer. During test execution, several functions are loaded into memory whenever they are invoked. The function viewer provides the ability to view all functions loaded into the Winrunner's memory space. This tool also provides the ability to load functions from within the compiled module. The function viewer exists in a dockable window and can be launched using the menu by clicking Tools Function Viewer. And exiting Winrunner. To conclude a Winrunner session, click on the file exit from the Winrunner menu. If unsaved tests, Winrunner will prompt to save them. You may also exit Winrunner by clicking on the terminate button of the window. So X, this is the icon in the upper right corner of the window. Using Winrunner, because Winrunner testing roadmap. The Winrunner test automation process can be described as a series of 5 individual steps. Every step has a dependency on the prior step. You must, for instance, create a GUI map before you can create the test. So teach Winrunner, first step is teach Winrunner to recognize objects in your application. The object identification process creates a object mapping file known as GUI map file. The GUI map file contains a list of property or value pairs for each object within your AUT. So the properties that are recorded by the GUI map editor and used to identify the object are controlled by the GUI configuration tool. Creating GUI map file needs to be done by once for an application being tested. All the tests that are created will then make use of this GUI map file. Second step is create test. The result of this process is a script file that contains TSL, that is script test scripting language code, as well as several test artifacts stored in your test folder. The test creation process can be broken down into two steps. First one is record the test. Second one is enhance the test. So record the test means this involves performing a series of actions that are part of the business process. Winrunner will record these actions by creating corresponding TSL statements to match the operations being performed in your test system. Next is enhance the test. A test may have at least one verification included. Without verification, how would you know that the AUT correctly performed the intended operations? However, since verification steps and some other useful features cannot be recorded, they have to be manually inserted into the test. So these are the enhancement to your test and various types of enhancements that can be edited in your test case. First one is synchronization point. So it is used to pause executions of the Winrunner. So test for a specific amount of time or until a specific event occurs. This is a useful feature for handling timing issues such as cases where an operation might take an indefinite amount of time to complete. Example, when you log in into a application, the time duration for logging in may vary greatly based on the number of users working on the application. That is about the synchronization point. Next one is checkpoint. Checkpoint checks to ensure that when an application reaches a specific step in its execution, it has a certain predetermined value. Winrunner provides 4 checkpoints that can be used to verify the application functionality. First one is that is about the checkpoint, and we will discuss about the types of checkpoints later. And data parameterization, the ability to remove hard-coded values from within a test and replace these with values read from a stored spreadsheet. So this allows us to run the same test several times using a different set of input values for each test. And next one is scripting. So addition of TSL code to the test. For expert programmers, adding TSL can make a test significantly robust. It can eliminate most instances where manual intervention is required, and also make the test less error prone. So also there are certain functionality that can only be checked using TSL code. So this is about the creating the test. Next, third one is debugging the test. The goal of debugging is to identify any errors that exist within your test and then fix those problems. Errors in the test script include TSL syntax problems or semantic errors. Any of these errors in the test makes the test operate incorrectly and clearly invalidate the test result. Debugging a test in Winrunner, we run the test in a mode known as debug run mode. This tells the Winrunner to overwrite the results of the test every time we run the test, thereby saving the disk space. Winrunner also provides a comprehensive set of tools that are useful for pausing the test execution. Next is recording the test. By recording, you can quickly create automated test scripts. So you simply work with your application as you normally would by clicking the objects with the mouse and by entering the keyboard input. Winrunner records the operation you perform and generate the statements in TSL, that is test scripting language. The statements appear as a script in a Winrunner test window. So before begin recording a test, plan the main stages of the test and select the appropriate record mode. Two record modes are available. One is context sensitive and another one is analog. In context sensitive mode, we can record the operation you perform in the form of GUI objects in your application. Winrunner identifies each object you click, such as window, menu, list, or button, and the type of the operation you perform, such as press, enable, move, or select. For example, if you record a mouse click on the OK button in the flight reservation login window, Winrunner records the following TSS statements in your test script, like button underscore press in brackets OK. When you run this script, Winrunner reads the command, looks for OK button and presses it. And next is analog mode. In analog mode, Winrunner records the exact coordinates traveled by the mouse as well as mouse clicks and keyboard input. For example, if you click the OK button in the login window, Winrunner records the statement that looks like this: move underscore to sector underscore track of one, meaning mouse track. If it is the recorded statement is m type in brackets t110 k left, its meaning is left mouse button press. Working with the test. So there are 6 steps in the working with the test. So first one is creating GUI map file. By creating a GUI map file, the Winrunner can identify the GUI object in the application going to be tested. Second one is create the test script. So this process involves recording, programming, or both. So during the process of recording the test, insert the checkpoints where the response of the application needs to be tested. Third one is debug the test. Run the test in debug mode to make sure whether they run smoothly. Fourth one is run the test. We can run the test in verify mode to test the application. Fifth one is view the results. So this determines the success or failure of the test. Sixth one is report the defects. If a particular test run fails due to the defect in the application being tested, defects can be directly reported through the test results window. This is about the working with the test. Next is checkpoints. There are 4 types of checkpoints available with the Winrunner. The purpose of checkpoint is it allows you to compare the current behavior of the application being tested to its behavior in the earlier version. You can add 4 types of checkpoints to your test scripts. First one is object checkpoint. So it verifies information about UI objects. For example, you can check whether radio button is on or off. Also, we can check whether a push button is enabled or disabled. Second one is a text checkpoint. So read the text in UI objects and in bitmaps and enables you to verify their contents. For example, you can record the text content of any button. Third one is bitmap checkpoint. It takes a snapshot of a window or area of your application and compares this to an image captured in an earlier version. So it captures the drawings and the graphs. And the fourth one is database checkpoint. It checks the contents and the number of rows and columns of a result set, which is based on a query you create on your database. So you create a query and examine the result set. That is done being in database checkpoint. So next is test script language. So test TSL is a script language used by the Winrunner for recording and executing the scripts. So there are several features available with the TSL. First one is comments. So it allows user to enter human readable information in the test script that will be ignored by the interpreter. And naming rules for identifiers within the TSL. Data types, the different types of data values that are supported by the language. Storage, construct that can be used to store the information. Operation, different types of computational operations. Branching, avoids executing certain portions of the code unless a condition is met. Loops, repeat execution of the certain section of code. Functions, group of statements used to perform certain functionality. And general syntax rules in TSL is semicolon is used to mark the end of the simple statement. And compound statements can use curly braces and not semicolons. And TSL is case sensitive language. And comments are denoted with hash symbol. And running and debugging the test. We can run tests in verify mode to test your application each time. So Winrunner encounters a checkpoint in the test script. It compares the current data of the application being tested to the expected data captured earlier. If any mismatches are found, Winrunner captures them as actual results. Next, batch test. So a batch test is a test script that contains call statements to other tests. It opens and executes each test and saves the test results. It suppresses the error message that occur while running the test script. A test becomes a batch test when you select the run in batch mode option. Example, GUI underscore load in bracket quotation a1 dot GUI. Analyzing the test. Next is analyzing the test. Once the batch run is completed, you can analyze the results in the Winrunner test results window. The test result window displays the overall result, either pass or fail of the batch test, as well as the result, each call result. So that the batch test fails if any of the tests fails. Click on the batch test window and choose Tools Test Results or click the Test Results window. So we can view the results of the batch test. We can use the results of the call test. So click a test name in the test tree to view the results of the call test. You can close the test results window by simply choosing File Exit, and you can close the batch test by choosing File and Close. And you can clear the batch run option in the Options dialog box by choosing Settings and Options. So in Options dialog box, click the Run tab, then clear the Run in the batch mode checkbox and click OK. Next, Rapid Test Script Wizard. So it is the fastest way of performing the testing process. It systematically opens the all windows in the application, stores the learned information in the GUI map file, and generates the test cases based on the information learned from the application. It is possible to apply these tests only on these applications, which opens windows on performing some tasks, like clicking a button, selecting the menu list item. The Winrunner Rapid Test Script Wizard can perform the following tests. First task is automatically learn all the objects that exist in application and save this into a GMF file. Second one is create 3 different types of tests. And third one is generate a test template that can be used for feature tests. Fourth one is automatically configure the Winrunner startup to preload certain resources. It simplifies the test creation process and could be an effective starting point for working with Winrunner. There are 4 types that can be chosen at this point. First one is GUI regression test, bitmap regression test, user interface test, and test templates. So this is about the Winrunner information. Thank you.